So thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Joint Commission. My name is Gadwa Nicodemus, and I'm Principal of Metros Arts Consulting. I'm joining you all the way from Pennsylvania today, so I'm contributing more of a national perspective. I provide research, analysis, and planning support to help all aspects of arts-based community and economic development. So I see our role as witnesses for this day to really flood you with inspiration and ideas. And so I'm going to be talking about California's creative economy from a couple of different angles to just try to get your wheels turning. First of all, we've talked a lot in the Otis report about the creative economy, about jobs, about the gross state product, but I want to just bring our focus back to what I see as core to the creative economy, which is the arts and culture sector, particularly nonprofit arts and cultural organizations. And so my report that I co-authored for the Irvine Foundation in 2011 provides a nice complement to get at some of the more intrinsic and quality of life benefits that are hard to capture, but we're able to do so. For instance, California has nearly an estimated 11,000 arts and cultural organizations, and they engage every year almost 500,000 volunteers. They produce 277,000 performances, commission 41,000 new works of art annually, including theater, dance, music, and draw cumulative attendances of over 137 million people annually. California also commands higher rates of arts and cultural participation in events than the nation overall. And you might think that that particular regions or cities, they do have advantages in terms of creative sector industries and thick networks of arts and cultural providers, but this reach is actually felt in all corners of the states. For instance, the Sierra region and the North Coast and North state regions of California actually have more arts and cultural organizations on a per capita basis than any other region. So my work, I'm best known for my work in creative placemaking. I'm a researcher, writer, speaker, and advocate. I focus on this intersection of urban planning and arts and culture. And creative placemaking offers California an opportunity to harness arts and culture in community and economic development through strategies that really draw on local distinctiveness and leverage arts and community assets. So you might not be familiar with the term. This is the definition that Ann Markison and I developed for a 2010 white paper for the National Endowment for the Arts Marist Institute on City Design. In creative placemaking, partners from public, private, nonprofit, and community sectors strategically shape the physical and social character of a neighborhood, town, tribe, city, or region around arts and cultural activities. So in other words, there are three main elements. There's strategic action by cross-sector partners, a place-based orientation, and a core of arts and cultural activities. And we illustrated the concept through 14 diverse case studies, including back up one second. We also speak to creative placemaking's outcomes. It animates public and private space. It rejuvenates structures and streetscapes. It improves business vitality and public safety, and it brings diverse people together to celebrate, inspire, and be inspired. And we illustrate the concept through 14 case studies, including the City of Philadelphia's Mural Arts Program, where an anti-graffiti experiment evolved into the nation's largest mural arts program. And their cross-sector projects span collaborations with the Streets Department and area youth, and extensive collaborations with the criminal justice system. And here in California, the 01 SJ Biennial, an effort to marry the technical prowess in Silicon Valley with artistic talent through a series of festivals. The Paducah Artist Relocation Program in Paducah, Kentucky, where a visionary artist and a mayor turned to artist homeownership to reverse the trend of disinvestment in the Lower Town neighborhood. They attracted over 70 artists from as far away as Hawaii and China, and in the process leveraged a 10-to-1 return on investment. And Nunu's experiment in tiny Arnoldville, Louisiana, where an artist reversed the decline in his hometown by cultivating Arnoldville's artistic talents and nurturing its Cajun heritage. So since we authored the paper, the concept has really taken off. The National Endowment for the Arts and ArtPlace, a new funding consortium, have collectively invested over $61 million in creative placemaking all across the country. And 35 standout initiatives in California have earned these competitive grants, including Long Beach's series of free multidisciplinary performances in vacant lots, and collaborations between local artists and farmers in Yolo County. So, given the prominence that we've been hearing about California's creative economy, that the Otis report documents, given the intrinsic benefits and quality of life benefits that nonprofit arts and cultural providers and artists produce, and its prowess in creative placemaking, you might be tempted to declare victory and go home, but you actually have your work cut out for you. There's no rest for the weary. California has a tremendous opportunity to strategically invest in its creative economy and a responsibility to nurture it because of its size and its importance. So I have been brainstorming and outlined some opportunities for legislative areas. These are potential areas for policy development and legislation for the Joint Commission's consideration. First of all, Senator Ted Lieu already beat me to it, and I'm pleased to hear that, but increasing funding. There's no reason that California should rank 48th in terms of per capita state arts funding levels, only being outpaced by Kansas and Georgia in the race to the bottom. We can reverse that trend, and we should, given the importance of the creative economy in the state. And by increasing funding for California Arts Council, it'll allow investment in innovative new programs, such as the California Creative Communities grant-making program, a significant new foray into creative placemaking. Secondly, supporting workforce development for cultural entrepreneurs. When surveyed, artists and other cultural entrepreneurs overwhelmingly speak to a desire for more business training, and the state has a lot of power to shape federally funded workforce development programs, job training programs, and employment. What are the ways in which those offerings might be adapted for the unique needs of cultural entrepreneurs? And I'd also love to encourage the legislators on this committee to examine ways to support K-12 and higher ed providers' efforts to train the next generation of creative economy workers. Skills like visual communication and creativity are crucial for being a creative entrepreneur, but they're also increasingly valued by all kinds of employers. Third, in terms of space, investments beyond the cultural flagships. Now, many states are able to extend credit through their bonding authority for major cultural capital projects, but because of these threshold minimums, often only the largest cultural institutions are able to take advantage of this. But as I can attest through research, artists and other cultural entrepreneurs and small and mid-sized arts and cultural organizations and businesses actually access and need a whole range of physical spaces, from live-work studios and arts incubators to artist centers. And our research documents that these investments benefit not only those users, but also the neighborhoods and communities. So I'd love to see this committee explore policies and legislation that support the physical needs of a larger swath of California's creative economy. Fourth, investigating state-designated cultural district programs. Now, Brian's going to be speaking to this, so I will let him carry the load here in the interest of time. But what are opportunities to dig into lessons learned and evaluate the potential advantages for California and program designs from the efforts that have been going on in over 10 states? And putting political capital to work. So I think a lot of times we focus on the power of the purse, but as elected officials, you also have the power of the bully pulpit and the power to convene groups like this. So I would just encourage you on a personal level to proactively seek out opportunities to showcase artists, creative entrepreneurs, arts and cultural nonprofits, creative placemaking initiatives through photo ops, through tours of creative economy programs and creative placemaking initiatives in your districts. There can be award ceremonies. There are relatively low-cost ways that can still provide critical boosts to visibility and legitimacy that you're able to offer because of your position and stature in this government. And you also have the ability to convene different stakeholder groups, for instance, forming cross-sector task forces to examine different policy issues and have different sectors contribute the benefits of their field perspectives and expertise. So those are just a few of my quick and dirty ideas about a relatively low-hanging fruit for immediate benefits and really tangible tangible impacts that this committee could champion. So I encourage you to reach out to me if you're curious about any of the research I cited. metrosarts.com is a great resource, but please feel free to email me and I can send you more information and field questions. I just think that California has a great opportunity, and I encourage you to retain your competitive advantage as the creative capital.
Thank you.